Hello everyone, BroSilly here, and it is time for the new British 1920 campaign. This will be probably called the Weird Ship campaign, or I'll think of the title later. But yeah, weird ships, and the goal is to take out all the other navies in the world, because we're Britain, and we can do that. Now I'm going to pause the recording here, because this campaign loading is going to probably take like 20 minutes or so I will be back then. Okay, the campaign is finally loaded. And we need to design our own fleet. Well, we start with a lot of money. Oh wait, no, because I need to buy ships. Of course, I start with a lot of money. Alright, let's get right to it. Alright, so I've built my ships. I will go over them now. It took a long time to design them. I guess I didn't realize that unconventional ships would be so hard to make because I was so tempted to make it conventionally and I just didn't really know what to do. So I'll have a little separate video if you guys want to watch the designing process, but for now let's just kind of view them. So here we have the Royal Oak, about 51,500 tons, 23 knots of speed, gave it maximum beam and draft, maximum bulkheads. Everything down here is pretty standard. Not the greatest turning, but oh well. Now I think you guys can notice, originally I wanted kind of like a Nelson style with three 16-inch guns on the front, all triples. But then the forward offset was too much, so I threw another one on the back. So this is a little bit of a weird ship, no casemates. A lot of secondaries on the deck. It's got, let's see, okay, torpedo protection, turtleback armor, best shells, better reloading, RDF, 16 inches of main belt at basically the same caliber as the gun and then half that all the way down. Same for Citadel. I gave the turrets matching armor instead of 2 above, which is what I usually do. And I made them all 40 cal. Except for the 3-inch and 2.5-inch guns, because this is a brawler. Its job is to get as close as possible and basically unleash, because the 16-inch guns fire in, I can barely believe this myself, 49.4 seconds, despite being a Mark II 16-inch gun. And for reference, the biggest guns we have unlocked right now are 18-inch guns, which are also Mark II. So yes, it is very impressive. Very, very impressive. So here's like the Royal Oak. Very, very nice looking ship. And the turrets are, I think those are the British design from what I remember. Actually, a design choice. I did use the 16-inch guns because they were the only turrets that looked like that, and I did kind of like how that. I do like how they look, plus they're smaller. Okay, second ship. The Vanguard. A little over 38,000 tons. A lot of 16-inch guns. It's the same caliber as the last ship. A lot less, a lot less conventional. Kind of see my little path away from conventionalism. A whole 18 16-inch guns, no secondaries. Only 22.8 knots of speed, so 0.2 less than the Royal Oak. I think reduced range, maximum bulkheads, increased beam and draft. Let's see. No torpedo protection. I'll get to that in a moment. Citadel 3. Not the greatest protection. You'll notice that some of the protection's not that great. High-end shells, enhanced reloading, default turning, stereoscopic. And now here with the armor, I kept the main belts and the belt armor pretty low, and I kept the deck armor decently high because this is going to be a long-range ship. 45 cal 16-inch guns. They fire. Where are the guns? Did I pass them? I did not. 74 seconds. However, they have a range of nearly 30 kilometers because I gave them Cordite 1. So, high chance of flash fire, 57.4 to be exact actually. That is impressively dangerous. However, they have a lot of range, so they're not even supposed to get shot at technically. They're supposed to be a super far ways away, firing 16-inch shells from above. Then I give them heavy shells too, to basically give them better deck pen. So that's why they have 8 inches of deck armor, but only 12 inches of main belts. And they don't actually have that good armor. So yeah, these things are kind of glass cannons. They get hit and their turrets are penned, I mean the whole ship's going up in flames. The Vanguard doesn't maybe look as nice. However, it's a lot more efficient with more guns, and it's supposed to only really be seen from a distance. And I mean, that huge broadside is going to be very, very dangerous. Okay, the Valiant. I really like the way the ship looks. It's got 6 18-inch guns. Those are 18-inch guns. They're also Mark II. They fire 71 seconds, 45 cal, and they got a couple 8-inch secondaries. They do 32 knots, really good range, pretty good stuff, pretty good armor, pretty decent. Best shells. I'm worried that the 18-inch guns will pen literally everything and then overpen them. Pretty standard battlecruiser armor, I think. Yeah, so this thing's job is to basically either snipe capital ships from a distance, or close in and obliterate anything smaller than a battleship. Okay, that's the Valiant. Around a little bigger than the Vanguard, actually. The Valiant, I really like how the Valiant looks, especially from the front. There's a lot of deck space, yeah, definitely, but I think the giant gun makes up for it on the back too. So, really long ship, big guns, looks real pretty. And we have the Superb, my other battlecruiser. The opposite approach, instead of a few big guns, it's a lot of small guns. These are all 12-inch guns, they're all Mark III. I have quite a few of them. Those are wing turrets, and then, so that's 18 plus 6, yeah, 24 12-inch guns. So a total broadside of 21, which is pretty crazy, and then a lot of 8-inch secondaries in the form of our turrets and casemates. Reduced range, only 27 knots of speed. This is also a brawler. Its job is to get in close and destroy anything that is not a battleship. And probably a battlecruiser. I don't think it could do too good against a battlecruiser, unless the battlecruiser had like 0 armor. So a little bit of a cheaper ship, I think, in regards to... Yeah, a little bit of a cheaper ship in regards to the other ships. Okay armor for a cruiser. This thing is mostly supposed to take out cruisers and destroyers. Not really supposed to mess with anything capital ship-wise. I gave it the lower end shells. Light shells as well. So not a lot of pen or anything, just spamming out shells. Superb. Definitely the guns are pretty small in the ship, however there are so many of them that it kind of makes up for it. Especially on the back. On the back it looks really smooth with the 8-inch turret and then the 3 12 turrets all centerline. The front looks a little bit more messy with the wing turrets, however, still looks okay. Not a terrible ship, necessarily. So, the barbettes were not unlocked in this. So the Orlando is, it's got a couple 8-inch wing turrets, 11-inch centerline turrets, and a couple 4-inch secondaries. It's a 6 11-inch guns, 12 8-inch guns and 6 4-inch guns. It seems a little undergunned, but the only other hull was the one where you can only stick like 2 main guns and then a couple casemates on it, so I just went with this one. It's okay. It's supposed to be a pretty cheap ship that's pretty fast to build, so 15 months compared to 20 months, 22, 20 months, 25. It's a little bit faster to build. 26 knots, so it's okay. Decent range, decent bulkheads. A little bit more cheap on the protection. And I also realized I could skip depth charges because there's no submarines thanks to the bounce mod. Pretty good armor for a heavy cruiser. Orlando. It doesn't look too pretty. Doesn't look pretty at all. However, well, it's efficient. It's not supposed to be a frontline ship, and if it does see frontline combat, it will not necessarily do too good. At the very least, it has enough firepower to take on other ships. Still have a reasonable chance of surviving. That's about that. Alright, let's go check out the light cruiser. The Cordelia. So, a little weird. That's definitely for sure. Torpedo launcher in the front, a couple 5-inch guns, a lot of 5-inch guns in the back. These guns barely have clearance, and a couple more side torpedoes. No secondaries, didn't think I need them. This is more than enough 5-inch guns. 29 knots, maximum range. Also went a little cheaper on the armor, because this is also supposed to be a ship that I kind of just spam out for like colonial purposes. I don't think these will actually be in the battle line. I'm building most of the heavy cruisers and light cruisers just to kind of go to the provinces around the world. I did give them mine laying, so there's that. I did break them up. So these are supposed to be closer in ships, not fighting at a range. The Cordelia, at the front, it looks a little weird because the turrets are so big and so high up, they completely block the tower, the main tower that is. Torpedoes are super low. Definitely not a very conventional looking ship. The back turrets are even weirder to look at. If anything, it's kind of a marvel to see all the stuff piled onto this hull. The fact that the torpedoes actually can fit, guns can turn, the ship captain can see. It's very impressive, kind of, if you think about the feat of engineering it took just to make the ship. That is the Cordelia. Let's check out the destroyers now. Here's the Searcher. I'm actually quite fond of it. It looks really cool. It's a very long destroyer. I did manage to fit quite a few turrets on it, and definitely a decent amount of torpedoes. This is supposed to be more of a, I guess, escorting the capital ships type destroyer. With the torpedoes, really good speed. Range isn't great. Neither are bulkheads. So not amazing, but even low fuel, this thing will still be able to keep up with the battleships at the very least. I gave it decent protection, 19-inch torpedoes because 20-inch wouldn't fit, RDF, and I didn't give it any of the special stuff because I thought this would be my kind of combat destroyer. For a destroyer, it's okay armor. Could not get 4.5-inch guns, so we have 4.3. High-end shells, heavy shells, so on and so forth. So I thought that's pretty cool. The Searcher does look very nice, very pretty. Again, problem with the main tower being blocked by the uppermost turrets. Torpedoes look very nice. The little torpedo section looks very nice. The back turrets look okay. It's a very sleek ship. I do like that. Does not look horrible. Does not look horrible at all. And finally, the Oak. I decided to go a little bit more unconventional. throwing some barbettes in the middle, torpedoes, surrounding a funnel, main or secondary tower all the way on the back. It's still pretty big, 2,000 tons. It has less guns, less torpedoes, less speed, but it's definitely supposed to be more of a backup destroyer. It takes 8 months to build, really? Oh, well, I thought it was 7 months, but I guess it's 8 now. Well, it's a lot cheaper, because I said this is only 12 million. The Searcher is 21 million, which is actually more expensive than my light cruiser, which is 19 million. So yeah, this thing is just kind of backup destroyers to really fill out the Navy. 19-inch torpedoes again. I gave this one mine laying, mine sweeping. Has okay armor, and the guns are not armored, so these will pop off very easy. Just standard shells, standard shell size, so on and so forth. And finally the Oak, one of the few small ships that does not suffer from a turret directly in the way of the little viewing ports. Little cluttered in the back, especially with the funnels being so far apart. The engine room is huge. However, not a bad little ship. Looks kind of almost cute in a way. And those are all the ships. So those are all of the ships built and designed. No, designed. They are not built, and now we will build them. So we are working with a little over 5 billion. Royal Oaks take 200,000. I'm thinking about buying mostly the capital ships, and then just building the rest of the ships later. So let's build 6 Royal Oaks. This already brings me down a lot. Let's build... I'm not so sure about the Vanguards. Let's build 3 of them. Let's build, I think, 6 Valiants. And then 6 Superbs. And for now, let's see. Let's buy 20 destroyers. Still have some money. I think I'll build a lot of the rest of these ships. Let's buy maybe 2 more Royal Oaks because I really like them. Let's buy maybe 1 more Vanguard. Still have some money left. I think let's buy 6 heavy cruisers. 12 light cruisers. A little bit of money left. Let's buy some Oaks, as many as I can. 24. Okay. So we have a lot of ships. We will have 86 supposedly. I can set the ports for them now. So let me go through all of the provinces I have really quick, and I will be back to you in a second. Okay, I've placed all of my ships. As you can see, I have went through the painful process of placing. Give me a second. Okay, now every ship has been placed. And I think it's time to click next turn, or start campaign. Okay. We are building no ships, though I'm probably going to change that. We're not actually making as much money as I thought we were going to, so let's increase that a little bit. I think we can't really take a negative, can we? Let's do 0.20% for now. Or do I want to do 0.25? Okay, 0.25 for now. We're actually almost close to researching the dreadnought Shevin in the N3G3 class. Could make it 1 month away from researching. I'm probably fine with 2 months though. My fleet is all chillin'. So I put pretty much everything I had in Scapa Flow, at least half of my capital ships. And the other half I spread out. I think I got a couple at Port Said, and the rest at India. Actually a little over. Let's move the Superbs. And we got... most of our areas have some ships. At least like a destroyer. Yeah. So we don't actually have any... I didn't really keep that many destroyers at home. But I think I did. Yeah, I got destroyer there, destroyer there, there, and there, and there. So if I need destroyers, I have a few around. I also got a couple in Gibraltar. And we should probably start building some ships. Let's build ships when we get more money. Anyways, enough speculation. That is most definitely it for this episode. Thanks for watching and tune in for, well, the start of the British campaign. Alright, bye-bye now.